Hello, everyone. We're back, or rather, I'm back. Not we. Shout out to Chris Taliaferro. Still miss you, man. Like these days, these Saturdays are not the same without you. In fact, I woke up thinking it's Valentine's Day, and I know you would have posted something like completely unhinged that I would have totally like acted like I didn't see, and I miss that. Like I miss intentionally pretending like I didn't see what you posted because it was just so crazy. So yeah, I miss you, but still here, still doing the show. It's just me. Hopefully, maybe somebody will pop up today, but we'll see. Um, yeah, so it's crazy. Like going, I think I think Kev on stage has like a new show talking about grief, and like grief is such a rough emotion because it's like a roller coaster. Like you don't know how it's going to hit you. You don't know how grief is going to hit you. It hits you just randomly sometimes, and hey, it's just like I was doing the show with Chris every Saturday, so now he's gone. And like I said, it's Valentine's Day, and I just know that he would have posted something just absolutely insane this morning, and it's not there. And like just thinking about that, missing him and going forward, like still doing the show without him, it's just weird. But um it's grief. It's like you can't just jump into something and act like everything's okay. That's what it is. I can't act like doing this without him is just fine. It's not just fine for me. It's very difficult. Like it took me a while to even get back on here. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, we didn't do any shows. I didn't do any shows or any live streams really for a couple of months. So um grief hits you like that. Like you just can't be the person you used to be or do what you used to do. So anyway, just quickly, Missy Chris, we didn't get a like to be choked post this morning, so we didn't get a chance to or I didn't get a chance to act like I didn't see it. But I did think of you this morning because it's Valentine's Day, and I knew you would post something crazy. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Thank you for coming watch the show today. Um, this is Chaos and Controversy with Kai. I talk about all kinds of things. I guess first let's just recap the Super Bowl Bad Bunny performance. Actually, maybe I'll wait for that. I'll wait on that. I'll wait on that just in case, just in case. So I'm gonna hold on that. But we can talk about Valentine's Day. I know a lot of people make a big deal about Valentine's Day. I've never been one of those people to make a big deal about Valentine's Day. But it's, of course, the single men are, saying crazy things to the women right now about Valentine's Day because there's Galentine's Day. And that, if you don't know what Galentine's Day is, it's when women get together with their girlfriends to celebrate Valentine's Day without men because, you know, they may be single or something, or maybe they don't even want to hang with men. I don't know. But Valentine's Day has gotten more and more popular over the years. It's a big deal now. You see a lot of women, lots of women getting out and celebrating Valentine's Day. And it just seems to get under a lot of people's skin, not just men, but like women too. And so I saw this post the other day and I was like, that's not the button. I have to read it to you because it's crazy. So this is from a woman. I just want to point out this is from a woman. So she writes, these Galentine parties are a bunch of lonely, unhappy single women pretending as if they're single by choice. Girl, bye. A bunch of lesbians, in my opinion. When I was single, I wouldn't be caught dead at a Galentine party, and I would have cursed out any female inviting me to one. At the end of the night, 99.99% of these women be texting every man in their phone trying to find a hookup for the night. Who wants to spend the night dedicated to love with a bunch of women? Lesbians, that's who. How come the men don't get together and have those types of parties? Because they all are always wanted by the opposite sex. They have no problem securing a woman. Y'all chicks don't have that luxury. Galentine's party, lonely women, carpet munchers. Okay. Besides the homophobia in this, I think it's funny that she is projecting heavily. Like, I agree. She's projecting heavily. I think it's funny that this is the reaction that some people have to women just having community and being happy, celebrating love. It's funny to me because it's like your immediate reaction is that they are not happy. They're faking happiness. And the studies have already shown that single women with no kids are the happiest in general. They can get up, eat what they want, do what they want, go where they want, travel. Their lives are much more fulfilling, and they're not, lonely because they have created community in their lives. They have friends. They have friends. Like, a lot of people think that women who are single are lonely, but they're not lonely. It says Bohemian Grove is an annual party. Hold on, I'm reading a comment. Okay, let me read this on the screen. With some of the world's wealthiest and elite, which has been called the gayest party ever by Donald Trump. Okay, I don't even know what that is, but I don't understand people being upset at people having friends. And then again, filled with homophobia, because why are you upset people have friends, like friends of the same sex? Friends of the same sex is actually more like the norm, right? So if she's either saying she doesn't have any female friends at all, which sounds like if you don't have any friends, says something about you. But yeah, she's projecting all of her anger and frustration at women just living their lives, being happy, hanging out with their friends, and celebrating Valentine's Day. And I think it's a cool idea. I've never actually done a Valentine's Day event, but I would if it comes up, I'm going. Look, I'm not, you just posted something saying men never have same-sex parties. Well, I mean, but they do. They have, like, they hang out with each other. Like, men have always hung out with each other. They hang out in the barbershop. They hang out to go see sporting events. Like, they do have same-sex hangout platonic friend situations. Now, we can talk about like how men don't have the emotional support that women have from their female friends. They don't have that from their male friends. We can break that down. But men do have same-sex parties where they hang out, and it's just they have boys' night. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like men don't hang out with their boys, have boys' night, go grab a beer, go have a drink, and watch a game. Like, that does happen. So this woman and a lot of these people are so angry at Valentine's Day. It's like, as soon as women, have women have removed men as the main idea, the main thing. You know, like, they have just decentered men. Women have decentered men. Women are living much more fulfilled lives. Again, women don't have to be like, so I have a troll here. Sorry, let me just handle that really quickly. I don't know why the trolls come. Anyway, what was I saying? Women have decentered men. Women are living much more fulfilled lives. Women don't have to attach to a man or get married to a man for financial survival, which was the reason why so many women had to get married in the past. That is a thing of the past. I mean, again, it's like just about 50 years ago that women could have their own bank account without the permission of a man. So we're talking about in recent times, we've gotten to the point where women do not need to attach themselves to a man for survival. So now that women don't need to do that, being in a relationship with a man is a real choice. It's a real choice. And it's a choice that women don't want to sacrifice themselves. They don't want to have to clean up after somebody or take care of somebody, do all the work. And so that turns into wow, we have in women's suffrage before they ruin the country. No, we're not doing that. What we have now is women who are very independent, and relationships are a choice. Relationships don't have to be a burden. Women don't have to sacrifice their time, their labor. They don't have to do all of that just to be in a relationship. And now, because of those choices, women are like, oh, yes, I don't mind being in a relationship with a guy as long as he comes able to take care of himself, he doesn't become a burden on my life, etc. then yes. But if not, I'm good. And I will develop all these other relationships around me so that I have a supported community. And that's what women are good at. Women are much better at creating community than men because men have been taught not to create community, but to rely on women to create community and rely on women to make sure that they're taken care of. And so now that women have stepped out of that model, that patriarchy is crumbling and women don't have to put up with that anymore. Now they are really upset. But the other thing is, we have women who are also participating in the patriarchy and saying crazy things like this lady before. And let's see, you said, I've done better financially and mentally since being a single mom. Life is great. And that's the thing, like they keep trying to blame all the ills of the world on single mothers. And it turns out that single women, single moms do less housework than married mothers. Single moms do better financially than married mothers. It just turns out that men have become such a burden on, or they've always been a burden on women, but women's labor was invisible. And they acted like it wasn't labor. They acted like it wasn't work. Women don't work. Remember, stay-at-home moms don't work, which is a lie. They work way more than everybody else. So now that those lies have been debunked and that women's labor is actual labor, now we're seeing this change where women who are single moms are doing better, feeling better. Single women are happier. So now this whole thing is, oh, they must be lying. They're lying. They're not happy. They're miserable. And, the real thing is, they're miserable. The women are not miserable, but the men are miserable. The men are truly miserable because they don't have the free labor anymore. They don't have somebody taking care of everything anymore. So like they're all upset at Valentine's Day because it's not all about, like, before, I guess, it was always like they thought women were desperate to have a boyfriend or have a man on Valentine's Day or something. I don't know. And now women are like, nah, I'm good. Oh man, I hate trolls. I really do. I just wish that y'all would get a life. Like, I wish y'all would get a life. Like, stop. What do you do? Like, I say this every week. Like, what do y'all do? Sit on the internet, find a stream to like troll and then troll it? Like, what is that? So anyway, Valentine's Day. I don't even know. Like I said, I've never been a big Valentine's Day person. Like when I was a kid, I liked it, right? Because like you would make, Valentines for everyone, or you would buy those little cards. I thought that was cute. Like I like that. I like that about Valentine's Day. I like the, bringing little snacks to school. Like I thought that was fun. I thought giving everybody like a Valentine was cool. And then I guess there's that transition when you become teenagers, and then it becomes a big deal. And then culturally, like we have all these things around love, and you have to pair up, all that pressure to pair up. And now I'm so happy generationally that this intentional idea of like you can't be single for girls is now gone, because the younger generations do not care, y'all. They do not care about the whole coupling up. Their lives are not centered on relationships, and I love that about this generation. This generation is gonna be all right. Right, it's a regular day for me too. I'm working here, but it's a regular day for me too. Like it's always, in fact, the thing for me that was hard is I was in a relationship once where I did not care. I've never cared about Valentine's Day, to be honest. Like I said, when I was a kid, thought it was fun, thought it was cool. In a relationship with a guy who thought he was so into Valentine's Day. And I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Like, really? And he would get upset that I didn't want to make plans or do something for Valentine's Day. And I was like, if you're in a relationship, you kind of show love to people that you're in a relationship with every day. So you don't need a dedicated day. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind people who celebrate Valentine's Day. It's not a big deal for me. Like, I just want to be clear. Like, if you like Valentine's Day, fine, enjoy. I don't care. So for people like me should not be in relationships with people who will like make a big deal about Valentine's Day, because what happens is the person who really likes Valentine's Day gets very upset. And trust me, I know, because he would get very, very upset that I was like, okay, what do you want to do? Because I'm like, like, we're adults. Like, what do you want to do? Yeah, that miserable post. She was very heavily male centered and just miserable. But the thing that's funny to me is that the men and the women who carry their water go all the way out of their way to insult single women and say that we're the angry, bitter ones. And I have to say, I do not sit on the internet going to people's posts who are in relationships or like relationships or whatever, leaving little troll posts on their stuff. Like I don't do that. I'm too happy. I'm too happy to do that. I don't have it within me to be angry on somebody's post about whatever they said or even I don't even post about these people. Like I'm talking about it now, but I don't post about those people. So I'm always like fascinated at how they come up with, oh, you guys are miserable because you're single. And it's like, are we though? Like, but I'm over here on my page, minding my business, and here you come bothering me. I'm fine. The miserable person seems to be you. And it's just weird, the projection. It's always projection. They're always projecting how they feel onto the people who they're upset about. They're upset that like we are like, chilling, happy, living life. They see us out with our friends and we're having a good time and we're going to lunch and going to brunch and having dinners and going to events and having a good time and just living it up and traveling and doing all those things. And they are not doing any of those things. They are with the person that's making them miserable, or maybe they're miserable making that person miserable. I don't know. And they're not going to lunch and brunch and traveling. They're just online looking at the women, the single women, especially single women with no kids. They doing a lot. Like, have you ever hung out with a single woman with no kids? Like, have y'all done that? Because let me tell you, they balling out. They are doing the most, and I love it. Like I love my friends. I love how they live. I love how they travel and do amazing things. So I think it's great. So I don't even see why they're so bitter about it, but they love to project their feelings onto single women. And I just think it's funny. So again, Valentine's Day, however you want to celebrate, enjoy it. If you don't celebrate, that's cool too. It's not a big deal to me, but I will say, like from experience, like if you are in a relationship with somebody who really like is really into Valentine's Day and you're not into Valentine's Day, I'm gonna tell you from experience, it's not gonna work out. One of y'all is not gonna make it because it can be a very big point of contention every year, which is insane to me. That a made up holiday. This is a made up holiday. It's a made up holiday, and so like people who like, I don't know, really are into it, like please find somebody who's really into it too, so that you're not miserable. And people who are not into it, like just make sure that the person you're with is not into it, so like y'all don't end up knocking heads. Because let me tell you, it can get contentious. All right, so let me move on from that. Okay, so I don't know. Let's talk about how like what is RFK Jr.'s title? What is his title? I can't remember what his title is. Anybody? So RFK Jr. said that he used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats, so he's not worried about germs. And yeah. So like, okay. What's his title? Can y'all help me? Let me look it up real quick. Because I have to remember his title because he's responsible for some very important things. So let me find it. See, this is why you need a producer. Okay, so he's the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services. And he had been discouraging people from taking the measles vaccine. Right. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? So this is a person that's supposed to be in charge of health and human services. So health. And we know vaccines work, right? Everybody here knows vaccines work. Like I don't have any, if I have any vaxxer in here, I don't think you're in the wrong place. I think you got lost. So we know that vaccines work. we know that measles is a very serious disease and it can be deadly to children and adults who are not vaccinated, which is why, you get the measles vaccine, when you're pretty young. I think, I don't know, like around 2, I don't know, 1 or 2 years old, you get the measles I remember when it starts, but you don't get it when you're first born. So that makes infants extremely vulnerable to it. Anyway, the anti-vaxxers, I don't know what you guys, I know you don't read. So I know you don't read. So reading is out. But I don't know what you guys have been watching, what misinformation you've been getting off the internet. But now we have several measles outbreaks throughout the country, and they're turning deadly. And so the person who's responsible for health and human services in the country discouraged people from getting the vaccine, but he's the one who said that he is not worried about germs because he used to snort cocaine off of a toilet seat or toilet seats. And I just need to say this out loud, that this is the person responsible for health and human services. Like, the insanity that somebody who clearly on drugs, and I'm not even going to sit here and say that somebody who used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats is not still snorting cocaine, especially since they have access, protection, and money. If you know anything about people who have access to money and power, drugs is a thing. Drugs is a serious thing. And so I'm sitting here like he's probably still snorting cocaine, and which means that his brain cells are, half dead. And so he's the person responsible. And so now that person discouraged people for the anti-vaxxers got to him, I guess. I don't know what the hell is going on. And so now we have a measles outbreak in the country. But the craziest thing is, and again, I know you guys don't read. I know you right-wingers, you anti-vaxxers don't read. And so this is what the type of stuff happens to you. Oh, yeah, this is a real headline because you all had the pro-life march, and I'm not even going to get into how you guys are pro-lifers. Maybe I will. I won't say I won't. But you all go to a march for pro-life, and you have now a super spreader event for measles. And it's just crazy to me that we have all this information available, all of this information out here about how vaccines are important and how, they protect people's health. And yet here we are in 2026 with these idiots spreading a preventable disease. It's preventable because there's a vaccine for it. Mediocrity in the White House. Yes, dude. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna get into the people. Okay, so they were so mad, so mad about diversity, equity, and inclusion, which really it was mostly beneficial to white women. I would just point that out. And they were saying they're getting their jobs and they're not qualified. Do you all see how unqualified these people are? This man is snorting cocaine and he's like, oh, we don't need a vaccine. And now we have measles outbreaks throughout the country because he's an idiot and he is not qualified to do his job. But speaking of other people who are not qualified to do their job, did y'all watch the Pam Bondi congressional hearings? Did y'all watch that? Did you watch? I know I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched some clips for sure. And shout out to what's her name, Jasmine Crockett, because she handled her like a boss. And I love Jasmine Crockett. I love her technique. I love what she did. Did you all see what she did? Did anybody watch like Jasmine Crockett completely destroy Pam Bondi? And this is the thing that was so nice about it, was that Jasmine already knew this heifer was not going to answer any questions. Like she already knew that this heifer, who is totally unqualified, who is, somebody even wrote on Threads. I'm gonna go back to it. Somebody even wrote on Threads that you shouldn't suffer from imposter syndrome if you watch that hearing, because it is very clear that that woman is not qualified to be in the position that she's in. She doesn't. She even pointed out, what law school did she go to? Because she doesn't understand how legal hearings work. But if you were paying attention to what Jasmine did, she took away Pam Bondi's ability to respond because she knew she was going to lie. She was like, I'm not even going to waste my time asking you questions. I'm just going to take my time to talk about some things, and snatched all of that air out of her, and just so that you will go down in history as the worst attorney general. And I love it. I love Jasmine Crockett. I love how she destroyed her. I just, everything about it was just so technically perfect. Like she's an amazing attorney herself. And the way she just destroyed this woman who was so grossly unqualified. Okay, then hold on, let me read this. He said, "What? I didn't know she got Pam." Yes, I feel guilty for having all this imposters. You listen, no black person, no black woman, no person of color, no one should have imposter syndrome watching this poor administration run this country. This administration is just filled with incompetent white men and women. They don't even have the credentials to do their jobs. They are not qualified. They just got the position because their friend is in the White House, who is also an idiot, because he doesn't even understand that Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Like we're dealing with idiots are running the country right now, and they are totally unqualified. So like I said, if you watch that hearing, you will see, like, you should feel confident in everything you do because these people are dumb. Pam Bondi pretty much just imploded on that hearing. She did a terrible job. I think it's funny that I don't think MAGA is rocking with her the way they thought that she would, because she had her little burn books. Remember her burn books? And so, I think she was like, hold on, I have to remove some people. Sorry, guys. I know when I start talking about politics and stuff, you get these crazies in here. But she had her book of insults, her burn book. Did you all see that? Like, she never came to the hearing to be honest, to answer questions. She was there to be a distraction to how bad this administration is. And the thing that's really great is she perjured herself during a congressional hearing. And I don't know if you guys caught Ted Lieu's questioning of her, but he burned her to the ground too, because he was like, "And we got it. We're recording. It's on record. We know you're lying under oath." And that, to me, was beautiful. It's beautiful because this administration is not going to last forever. It feels like forever because God, this year is taking forever to go by. I mean, it's clear that these people cheated to get into power. It's clear they stole the election, to me. And so she's going to go to jail. Pam Bondi's going to go to jail. May not be this year, may not be next year. But when it's all said and done, she, like the other attorney general during the Nixon era, he went to jail. She gonna go to jail too. So it's crazy to me that she thought she could get up there and yell insults at the Congress, in the congressional hearing, and not answer questions. And it's white mediocrity on display everywhere all the time. So yes, if you have imposter syndrome, I want you to go watch these hearings so you can feel better about yourself, because you're definitely smarter than these idiots. Definitely smarter, even though you may not have the power, because the world's not fair. I mean, I find myself getting very frustrated that these people are able to fail into success. They're not smart. They're not educated. They don't have the accolades, they don't have the background, they don't have the qualifications, and yet they are given high-paying jobs and they're doing a terrible job at it. And there's no fairness in the world. I absolutely think that it sucks that the world is not fair, because if it was fair, these people would not be in power. So because they just don't qualify to be in power. And so it's very frustrating, but the world's unfair, so we have to accept life ain't fair. Like, we just have to accept that life is not fair. But what we can do instead of, being angry that life is not fair, we got to recognize we are not the idiots. Remember that you are not one of the idiots. And if you are one of the idiots, don't say anything crazy in the chat, because I'm just going to block you. So, but the idiots, they're having their moment. We're in the middle of the idiots having power. And that can be, it's hard at times to deal with. Yes, I agree. But it's like, it is what it is. We have to just recognize it's unfair, but also know you're not one of the idiots, because whew, man, like, I just don't like, okay, so let me even go back. Like, if somebody was talking about how, like, I don't know if you guys will go, but we can go back to the Super Bowl. So that they had the alternative halftime show. What would you say? Hold on, let me read this comment. Pam uses old tactics too. She got laughed out for trying to come to Culver City crime, just like Jim Jones got laughed out for trying to come to NYC. His district was far worse per capita. Yeah, like their their incompetence is frustrating for people who know that we could be living in such a better society if, one, these people in power weren't stupid, if they weren't racist, if they were really about community and making the world a better place. The fact that we have right now, they have children and infants locked up in these detention centers that ICE has, which is disgusting, inhumane, cruel, and it's actually a civil rights violation. Like, they are just locking people up because this administration wants to just be cruel. Their cruelty, they want to dehumanize people of color. They want to make it so that white people are not paying attention, and white people will just be silent and complicit and go ahead and allow these things to happen. And that's another thing. Like, the thing is that even though they are targeting people of color, they're coming for white people too. They're killing white people too. And I said this years ago, I said that white people are going to start dying next. We see it coming as Black people because we've never been in a country that treated us equally. We've always dealt with racism. We've always dealt with police killing us, with the government harming our communities. We have environmental racism, legal, like all of the things that you guys, a lot of you all, because you have blinders, and I don't understand how white people don't notice these things, but apparently y'all don't know stuff. You're starting to notice it now, so I guess kudos. But like, these things have always existed in this country. Civil rights violations for Black people have always existed. People have been hurting us and harming our communities the entirety that this country has existed. So now that other communities are being affected, it's like, what's going on with this? They all say, oh, it's never like this. It's always been like this. It's always been like this for Black people. And we've said it to you. It's always been, we have it on video. They kill us on video. We're like, look, they're killing us. And so now we're at this point where it's really bad, I guess. And I guess now y'all are like, oh, it's really bad. What should we do? And I'm just wondering, at what point do people decide we want the world to be better? We want our communities to be better. We want true equality. Like, I don't know if this is ever going to happen. I do feel like the kids are going to be all right. I don't know if y'all got, like, okay, so I talk about the video of the kids whooping that dude who jumped on that girl. But apparently there's a new video out of, there was some, I guess some kid like wanted to be a agitator at a school or something and went into a school like I with a sign that said, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know what his sign said, but something like I love ice. And then this kid this kid was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna punch you." Did y'all see this? Anybody see this? It was hilarious. And then he was like, "And you're gonna get in trouble." And he was like, "I don't care." And he like cocks back and punches him. I feel like between this, the kids jumping, the dude, the protest that I attended with my daughter, I feel like the kids are gonna be all right. I feel like the next generation is going to be all right because one, they are just not tolerant of this foolishness that a lot of people in my age group and older are tolerant of. They're tolerant of racists. And let me take that back because like my generation was not tolerant of racists. I'm gonna take that back. Gen X has never been tolerant of racists, at least where I grew up, because yeah, they would jump white people too back then. So I'm gonna take that back. But after that, there was much more tolerance of the subtle. And let's be clear that racism was much more subtle because they knew like forever. Honestly, Trump bucked the system because the system only works, the racist system only works if it's subtle. Like you can't be an outright racist because that breaks everything. But the subtlety of racism in the system for the longest time has kept the systemic racism in place forever. That's why systemic racism has lasted for so long because it was never just blatantly in your face. So I have to say, of all the things that Trump did, he brought the racists out of the closet because they feel comfortable now. And I kind of appreciate that. Like, I kind of appreciate the racists saying the things that they believe out loud for everyone to see. I'm happy that you guys came out of the closet. The thing is, I always knew you were there, but I appreciate that we can see you out in the open now. However, that breaks the system for the white people and everybody. Like it breaks it because now we can't pretend not to be racist. And you have to be able to keep the systemic racism in place by pretending it doesn't exist. And so now it doesn't it like there's no pretending anymore. We know that these people are outright racist now. We know that these systems are purposefully going after black and brown people. They're purposefully trying to harm black and brown communities. So now we can see it, and now the system is broken. So yeah, it's broken. Now everybody's like, oh shoot, it's broken. Like, what do we do? And I'm just curious to see what these folks are going to do. I'm curious to see how this is going to go because we're in bad shape. The United States is in very bad shape. Last time I experienced racism recently. I experience racism all the time. I don't know why you guys think that racism doesn't exist. Like, the real question is, when was the last time you talked to white people about racism? That's the real question. Why do you all always come over questioning black people instead of going to your white counterparts and questioning them? That's the interesting, because this in itself is racist. Like white people always want to jump and talk to black people about racism. The conversation is not us. Racism is not a black people problem. Racism is an experience that black people have to deal with. Racism is a white people problem. So really, those questions should be posed to white people. Hey, when was the last time you said something racist? Or do you think that, you're better than black people? Do you feel I think reparations need to be paid. Absolutely. You have to pay reparations. This country benefited financially from free labor. And the people who provide the descendants of those people who provided the free labor never got any benefit from it and were discriminated against. So reparations need to be paid. Absolutely. Like, I don't know where you're going with this, but again, these are questions that go to white people. Talk to white people about all of these things, because white people are the reason why these things have never been dismantled. Systemic racism has not been dismantled because white people are very comfortable living on stolen land with stolen labor and stolen finances and benefiting from all those things, and then going, well, I wasn't alive when it happened. It's not my fault. Honestly, I don't care. It's not your fault. but you're not working to fix it. And you still benefit from everything that was given to you that was stolen. You're still like, if you take somebody's stuff, you steal my phone and you give it to your child didn't steal the phone, but the phone is still not your child's. It's very simple. I don't understand why this is so complicated and why white people just won't get it through their heads that y'all need to fix the problems that your ancestors caused. See, that to me, and I feel like even in South Africa, like the land is still owned, majority owned by white people, but white people are very scared there because they've been taking stuff back. And I think honestly, around the world, like for me, really honestly, this United States does not belong to even us. It belongs to the indigenous people. So how do we fix that? That's a real question. How do you fix it? And that's white people's problem. That's not my problem. It's white people's problem. Because you're never going to get to a place where things are better until you acknowledge the real problem and, you know, okay, yeah, let's see. Who do we got to delete this person. Here comes the trolls. And what does that say? And this person, okay, anybody else? Anybody else? Ultimate solution is for white people to figure it out. But you guys have to stop talking to black people about it. I understand the knee-jerk reaction to question black people. What is that? Like, y'all have a knee-jerk reaction. You see black people talking about race and you want to jump in. Go talk to white people about race. Go talk to white people about racism. Stop bothering black people. We are living our lives dealing with the stuff that we didn't create and surviving it. That's the other thing. Like, you guys are really struggling with this administration and what's going on and in shock. And so, like y'all are like really freaking out about it. Right. Same way Georgetown University, hold on, let me put that one. Same way Georgetown University offers free tuition to descendants of folks owned by the Jesuits, but wants them to qualify instead of helping with remedial education. It's like you guys like you guys are descendants of the people who caused the problem, and you have benefited, and you don't want to give up the benefits. You don't want to share what you benefited from with the people who, the only reason you have those benefits is because their people died and sacrificed, were sacrificed, because they didn't sacrifice themselves. They were sacrificed for you to benefit. And now you're like, well, that's not fair. I didn't do it. Why do you think it's fair that you get to keep what didn't belong to your family in the first place? I just don't understand that. Like, if it's not yours from jump, like even for me, I am a really honestly true American. I'm descendant from slave owners and people who were enslaved. Okay, so let's be clear. I have the makeup of everything here, and this is not, to me, it's not my land. It's not mine. I didn't do it, but it belongs to the indigenous people who also part of my ancestry. So I feel that somehow, whenever, like, I feel like, if the government ever recovers, and like I said, I think the kids got it. So we'll see what these kids decide to do, because these kids are smart. Whatever it is, it must bring people, the indigenous people, the descendants of enslaved people, it must bring those populations to a financial point where they are no longer suffering from all of these systemic racist things that have been happening. That's what has to happen. It has to make it so that those people benefit, and I mean financially, to the point where now the wealth is distributed the way it should be. So how does that happen? Don't let me end up running the government, because y'all might be like the South Africans, all upset and hurt because somebody took your land and gave it to the people that actually belongs to. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's just really, whoo, child. It's just racism. Just so tired. It's so tiring, and I'm so tired of white people. We just tell y'all, like, as a black person who lives in a place that is not majority black, who interacts with people, all kinds of people, but often majority white people, it takes a toll. Like, racism takes a toll, and shut up. Watch this. Poof, you're gone. It takes a toll. Like, it takes a toll dealing with people attacking you for speaking out against systemic racism. It takes a toll, like, dealing with the, what they call microaggressions, but really they're aggressive. They're very aggressive. It takes a toll over time. Like, you get very tired and you get very angry, and anger is not a healthy emotion over time. Like, you don't want anger festering. So, black people find ways to find joy. It's true, because if we didn't have joy, we would be like the people who are the ones that, like, they act like black people are so violent. Black people are the violent ones, when the statistics clearly show, based on how we've been treated, that we're actually very chill people. If we behave the way that they say that we behave, we would look, like they always talk about the angry, like, for example, the stereotype of the angry black woman. Now, if Pam Bondi was black and she acted like she did in that hearing as a black woman, oh, the headlines would have been just talking about how angry she was and how she was just attacking people. Because, black women get accused of attacking people for speaking up for ourselves. Like, just being assertive is an attack. Why are you being aggressive? Why are you attacking me? And so the fact that we deal with those types of aggressions all the time, and we still manage to live and find joy, is just amazing. It's amazing. And yet, here we are, what's the majority of mass shooters? Not black kids. But the people that they're scared of, because they've been told to be afraid of black people. But black people are not the people who are making the world unsafe. Black people are not the people who are making the world unsafe. I'm telling you guys, you really need to pay attention to what's really happening in the world, because the world, racism has lied to you about who are the aggressors, who are the bad guys, who's the person that's going to harm you, who's the person who's taking away your rights. Just think about, what's the SAVE Act? Who's taking away your right to vote? White women. Yeah. But they think, like, they're finding out, they think they may have made a mistake with the SAVE Act. I'm gonna get into it, because they figured out, even though I don't know if it's truly a mistake, because they don't want women to vote, period. But they figured out that conservative women are more likely to be impacted by the SAVE Act and be disenfranchised, because conservative women are more likely to change their name when they get married. And so they might have lost part of their voting block, which, again, I think is funny. Like, every time they got to cheat to win. They got to cheat to win. We know this. But every time they do something, it kind of backfires. And I find that very amusing, that you're doing all these things to, like, you're changing congressional maps, and then, the Democrats did the same thing. And now you're like, wait, you can't do that. And, like, well, you just did it, but you got to cheat to win. So you're doing these things, and you're trying to take away people's ability to vote. And now you're taking away your own constituents, your own base. You're making it harder for them to vote. And I just think that's funny, because you know what? The SAVE Act does not impact me. Yep. Because they were talking about a lot of people don't have passports. Thank you. A lot of people don't have passports. Shout out to Groovy for that. I appreciate that. I've had a passport for decades. That's something that people, like, a lot of conservatives, they don't have a passport. Know what else I got now? I got my real ID. Like, you got like, the things that they are trying to take away from people. A lot of people, they think that they're trying to take it away from them. It's not happening to those people. Like, I know that they would love to take away from people who look like me, but people who look like me who are, educated, well traveled, understand what's happening, studied the law, understand how the government works. You guys are like trying to go after people like me. And it's like people like me, I don't know, we're kind of prepared because we expect you to do things like this. We do. We expect, like I said, Black people have always experienced this country being racist, being harmful, to Black people. So we're not surprised when you guys do things like try to take away voting rights. We're not surprised. We expect it. We're prepared for it. So, like, now what? What's going to happen next? I don't know. I'm just tired again. You also get fatigued. You're fatigued. Like I'm a Black person who suffers from fatigue because I'm just so tired of every day waking up and seeing something else stupid. Although some of it is funny, I have to say, Pam Bondi getting roasted during that congressional hearing was hilarious. I enjoyed that. I did. But still a problem, right? Because she's still Attorney General and she still is not prosecuting the men in the Epstein files. And the thing that they were like, oh, if we prosecute everybody, the system will collapse. Let it collapse. Get these criminals, these pedophiles out of power. They harm children. Pro-life, let's talk about pro-life people. Pro-life people, you believe in protecting children, right? So these people in power are raping children, killing children, and you don't think that they should be prosecuted? I'm trying to figure out how that is. Like, if you're the pro-life group, you guys should be the first one looking at Pam Bondi like, why are we not locking these people up? Like, how are they not being locked up immediately? How are they not immediately being prosecuted? There's millions of files identifying these people, showing them in inappropriate situations with children, and you guys are not prosecuting them. You're the pro-lifers. Like, why are you not upset? And that to me says a lot about those pro-life groups, that the fact that they are not like ready to like draw blood over these men harming children. So it's never been about protecting kids. It's never been about pro-life. And we know that. We know that the pro-lifers have never been about protecting children. We know this. It's always been about controlling women's bodies. Like, we know this. We get it because it's obvious now. It's obvious it's not about protecting children, because if you were about protecting children, you would be on Pam Bondi's butt saying, hey, go prosecute these pedophiles. But they're not doing that. It's not about that. And so, more about how many, I don't know, how many, I have banned so many people from this chat today, you guys. You don't know, racist, sexist, like crazy people. I have banned so many. I have lost count. I know it's been more than 5. More than 5 trolls banned from my chat today. I've only been on here. How many minutes have I been on here? 52 minutes. How do you have this many? Like, what is it? YouTube, help me understand. Like, what do? Do you send the trolls to my chat so that they can say crazy things and I can just block them? Because I don't understand how I keep getting so many trolls. Like, what is this? Anyway, if pro-lifers were about pro-life and protecting children, because apparently I'm going to say I haven't read the files because I don't want to be triggered, and I know it's so many, but people have pointed out that they have actually killed kids, killed people. If it's about protecting life, then they should want Pam Bondi to prosecute the men in those files that have been identified, including Trump. But it's not about that. It's about controlling women's bodies, controlling women's body autonomy. And that's what it's always been about. It's about controlling women, just like the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act was trying to disenfranchise women. They just forgot that they have women in their side that vote too. And so now they're like, wait. We don't, we want them to still vote, sort of, but we really don't. We just don't want women to have any power. Anyway, what else am I talking about? Speaking of the RFK, by the way, I posted what RFK said. He said, I'm not scared of a germ. I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. I put quotation marks around it. And Threads actually took this post down. I don't even understand. Like, it's a quote, and they said it goes against our community standards on drugs. I didn't say go take drugs. This is literally a quote. I'm just like, what the frick? Like, are you serious? And Threads removed it, and I actually appealed it, and they still took it down, which is insane to me because it's a quote. How does this go against the community standards on drugs? Can somebody help me understand how that is even a thing? First of all, our Health and Human Services Secretary said it. This is actual, it's an actual quote. He said it and it was removed. Anyway, that's how, and this is the crazy thing. Like, the community standards or Threads is actually even better than our own government in the sense that they know to remove this idiot's comment. Like, he needs to be removed, right? It's just crazy. I thought that was crazy. Like, the fact that they actually took it down. It stayed up on Facebook, but it took it down on Threads. And I'm still like, are you serious? Like, how does this, which gets me to wondering, because there's been a lot of people talking about how Facebook and Meta has been suppressing discussions and lists of people in the Epstein files. Now, I haven't posted myself an actual list of the people named in the Epstein files, so I don't know if it's being suppressed. But the fact that people keep pointing out that the discussions about it, excuse me, are being suppressed doesn't surprise me, because apparently Mark Zuckerberg has been named in the files. Like, I don't know. So that's what people say, because I asked about it. And I think that, it's interesting that they're removing people's discussions and people talking about what's going on with these people who are obviously incompetent and not qualified for their jobs. And like the tech companies, and don't get me wrong, the tech company, Facebook, I hate Facebook. I use Facebook, but I hate Facebook. I use Threads. I kind of like Threads. I know it's owned by Meta, and I use these platforms, but I don't like using them, but I use them. But I think it's funny because we know that Facebook during the 2016 election was overrun by Russian bots. Let me see. All right, you said this is why I also have accounts on Spill, Fanbase. Whistleblowers are the reason they rebranded to Meta in the first place. Remember when they banned Minister Farrakhan but let Red Ice TV rock? And I don't remember that. I used to use Spill, but I stopped using it. I don't use Fanbase, and I got a video that explains why. But I didn't know they banned Minister Farrakhan. I don't remember that. I just know that Facebook definitely. That's why, and this shows the ingenuity of Black people. But like, I know Facebook is definitely an op. Like we know this, right? We know, so we have to operate in a certain way that we move around whatever they're doing. And I know that they probably are. Like, I can't prove it, but they probably are. But they kept banning Black people, and Black people quickly adjusted our language so that we could get around the ban. So the information can't be stopped. They can't stop the information. I think that one of the things that upsets racist white people is that Black people have always found a way to communicate with one another, whatever is happening, whatever information that needs to be disseminated to Black people, we find a way to find it. We know how to communicate with one another silently. It's one of the brilliant things about being Black. We don't need to be very specific about what's happening, because we all know. And I love that about us. And so what has happened, especially like when we think about like Twitter, Musk bought Twitter in an attempt to like control and study, because I remember they would study Black people on Twitter and try to figure out how Black people are able to like get the information through. And so he bought Twitter. He tried to suppress certain accounts and boost, because I don't know. I never left Twitter. I'm gonna tell you why I never left Twitter. I never left Twitter because I refuse to leave. I don't really participate like I used to on Twitter, but I ain't going nowhere because I'm like, just because you racists bought this and you think you're gonna control how it goes, I'm still gonna just sit here and wait it out, is what I'm doing. But black people just shifted. Like they were like, cool, we'll just move somewhere else. And I love that. Like, and nobody, there was no announcement like, hey, black people, we're all shifting over to another platform. It was just like black people were like, oh, okay. And then they just knew. So one of the things I love about us is our ability to talk to one another, communicate with one another, and not have to say the thing out loud. That we just know. We know instinctively how to get our information. We know what's going on. And it's like right now, Facebook, we know that you guys are trying to control the information, which is a downfall to you, because as soon as you try to control information, you pique the curiosity of those who are like, what you doing? Why don't you want me to see? What is it that you don't want me to see? And then we will find it. So I think that that's really funny that they're doing all of that, going through all of that to try to keep the name. And like, it's public information now. Like, we know you're in there. We know you're in there. So why are you trying to stop people? We know. Like, it's dumb. I don't know. Sometimes I think these people are, well, I know, not sometimes. They are dumb. They are dumb. And that's part of the problem. Part of the frustration is knowing that the people who have a lot of power are the dumb people. Dumb people should not have power, but they do. And it just sucks because they do dumb things, and we're just sitting there like, why would you do that? That's dumb. Speaking of dumb people, because I'm gonna get out of here soon. Um, just a quick wife school cult update. She went dark. I think I told you last week. If you don't know, I got a whole series on the wife school cult. So if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go to my YouTube page and look at my playlist. There's a playlist about the wife school cult. All the information is there. But this woman, her name is Ro Cudno. She runs a cult. It targets Black women. And I talk about it regularly because she has not been apprehended by law enforcement. So anyway, update time. So remember last week, because people had spent some time. I think some people had been reporting her and stuff. So she went dark on her page and she wasn't talking. But she's going to talk. I even said that she can't stay quiet for long. So she's back posting. She's posting same kind of crazy stuff like construction on houses, because she's selling houses that nobody has ever gotten in Senegal. And she has this weird obsession with one of the workers. I don't know what this guy is. She posts him pretty frequently, and people are pointing out that she's pretty obsessed with this guy. She's always taking pictures of him and posting him, which is weird because she's married, and she even said in her past teachings that married women are not supposed to be talking to men at all or something. I don't know whatever she made up. But she seems to talk to this man enough to take his picture and post him. So people are really pointing that out. That's been up there. The other thing that I talked about, I don't know if it was last week or a week before, her oldest daughters, their father has not ever, from the outside, I don't know if it's true, but it seems like he's had no contact with his daughters pretty much their entire lives. And somebody, and this again, allegedly, I don't know, posted how even though she was married to this guy and those daughters have his last name, somebody said that it was rumored that those were not his children, which is crazy. I don't know if that's true. They were not his children, and that that is why he has not contacted them or tried to help them, which, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that, I have no idea. I feel, like I said, I feel compassion, even though those daughters have done and acted a fool on the internet. They are young adults, but really they're just children to me. But for them, I feel for them because they're being raised by someone that is just one of the most awful human beings I've ever encountered. And so they kind of didn't have a chance from the jump. So part of me has some compassion, even though right now they're kind of like lost cause. But if that is true, that that was not their dad, and that is the reason why he hasn't contacted them, that's really sad. So I feel for them, because that means they don't have anyone out there who can help them get out of this madness, because it is just madness. Like, this whole thing with them is madness. So that is my update there. I think I went over everything. I planned to go over. I want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining. I appreciate everyone that comes in. What is this? Groove Diva, thank you. Of course, HD Spivey, thank you. And who else? I'm sorry. Random 9090, thank you. I'm just trying to go through here. Khadijah, thank you. Kincaid, yeah. Thank you guys for joining. I know I'm missing some people. I'm sorry if I am. I'm trying to scroll through fast. I'm sorry if I missed you. I appreciate you joining. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do this every week. I'm so far I'm 2 weeks in, y'all. 2 weeks in and I'm still here. So I am, super happy you guys watch. I appreciate you. I'm still doing this every week. Make sure you go follow me on my socials. I'm Kai Nicole on Facebook, Twitter, and Blue Sky. And then I'm Kai Fly Mommy on Threads and on Instagram. Make sure you follow. Make sure you leave comments. If you have something you want me to talk about next week, I want to talk about, I didn't talk about Super Bowl real quick. So you guys watched Bad Bunny, right? You guys were super happy about Bad Bunny. Like, I was excited. If you missed it, go rewatch it on YouTube. It's an awesome performance. And I was like super excited because yes, he did it all in Spanish except for Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga sang in English, but that's cool. That's Lady Gaga. But yeah, and then everybody losing their minds. Were you guys like, I knew they were going to lose their minds, but were you like super happy that they lost their minds because they were racist and they hated it? I was just so happy. My heart is full. Shout out to Bad Bunny for doing what he does. He's an amazing individual. I'm really proud of him. So yeah, I had the best time. I was dancing in my living room. Yes. Talking about Nueva York. Yes. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting off of here. Thank you guys for watching. Next week, same time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Make sure you lock in. Please go and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you lock in. I will be back next week. If you want me to talk about anything, hit me up in any of the socials and say, please, talk about this next week or whatever. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And peace, guys.